Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Minnesota State Park Hiking Club Trail. Today we traveled to Winona, Minnesota to take the hiking club trail at Great River Bluffs State Park. Originally named O.L. Kipp State Park after an influential member of the Minnesota Highway Department who helped shape the state highway system. It was authorized by the legislature as a park in 1963. However, by 1971, when no land had been found to purchase by the park, it was reauthorized and relocated to its current position. According to the DNR website, the DNR Forestry Division owned 1,000 acres that became the core of the present-day park. The park is positioned about halfway between the cities of Winona and La Crosse. It provides fantastic views of the Mississippi River and is nestled within the bluffs on the Minnesota side of the river. The bluffs provide fantastic hiking, and not just in this area. Further to the north in Winona, you can hike up to see Sugarloaf, the idol-like pillar of stone visible when you approach the city. Walk or drive up Garvin Heights and look out over the beautiful city of Winona, or slightly further north along 61, you can also take a stop at John A. Latch State Park, a state park that unfortunately does not have a trail within the hiking club, but provides a glorious view of the Mississippi that is well worth a stop on your way down to Great River Bluffs. The wildlife of the park is diverse and includes 35 species of mammals, 17 species of reptiles and amphibians, and well over 100 species of birds. There are hawks, owls, grouse, turkeys, and the occasional bald eagle. The bird watching at places like this is fantastic because usually you can spot a bird or two you've never seen before. The environments are diverse within the park and include oak and maple basswood forests, pine plantations, prairie sections that house the numerous animals that exist within the park. Not strictly a warm weather park, for those hardy outdoors people who enjoy the winter, there are 9 miles of cross-country ski trails. Great River Bluffs is one of the few parks that fall within the driftless area, a region of Minnesota significantly different than the majority of Minnesota because of the simple fact that glaciers, which scoured most of Minnesota, did not affect this area. They didn't drift. It's closer to the trails I've taken in New England than the majority that I've taken in Minnesota. There's an effort to put together a 100-mile trail within the driftless area. If you're interested in supporting this effort, look up the Minnesota Driftless Hiking Trail. Lost Creek Hiking Trail and Beaver Creek Valley State Park are both trails within the proposed corridor. The State Park Hiking Club Trail starts about halfway down the entry road. There isn't a large parking lot, but more of a small section of spots to pull off, and in the fall it can especially be quite busy. You may have to drop off or park further down the road. The trail is approximately 2.5 miles in length, and it took us about 40 minutes to complete. The first section of the trail has a short field of lower brush next to the forest before the trail enters a section of larger, more mature evergreen trees that have blanketed the wide trail in evergreen needles and pine cones. It's a gorgeous trail with the sun peeking through the trees above and highlighting random patches of the needles and pine cones. Routes within this trail are also highlighted with this type of trail cover versus a thick maple leaf coverage you can find in other state parks. The trail splits with the right side continuing through the evergreen forest, and the way to the left descending slightly into a low brush area with a small prairie that navigates around the edge of the evergreen section. It eventually rejoins with the other trail before the trail heads out to the overlook section. We went in the fall, so there wasn't many bugs, and the sun didn't strike us so harshly. Unlike some of the other state parks, the vast majority of this trail is under the canopy of trees. In fact, even the sections that pass around the larger forest sections benefit from the shade for most of its length. The evergreen section transitions to a deciduous section as you rejoin with the other trail. There are some beautiful gnarled oaks within the section that give the variety and uniqueness to the canopy. This will bring you nearly to the overlook. However, one final section you enter is really the beginning of the overlook. It's a hillside prairie, not as elevated or isolated as the one atop Himinicha, but still a great example of the hilltop prairie biome. The overlook is just around the corner and has an unobstructed view out to the river. There's a single bench for sitting as well as some informational plaques along the section. The trail looks as if it continues, but there's a large sign informing you that the trail ends and the next area is private property. My favorite part of this trail was the overlook at the end. The Mississippi River Valley in this section of Minnesota is just absolutely gorgeous, so it comes as no surprise that the grand overlook is my favorite part. The one direction has a breathtaking view of the Mississippi and Queens Bluff, which stands partially between the overlook and the river. The direction opposite of the river also provides a gorgeous view out into the blufflands on the backside of the bluff. The bluffs are covered in a blanket of trees, and this is just a wonderful green grass at the valley. Thank you for watching, and if you like this video, let us know. Also, don't forget to let us know which trail you'd like to see next.